Today from r/LetsNotMeet. Ubereats driver possibly using multiple accounts tried to break into my home upon arriving. Longtime lurker, first-time poster. All names in this story have been changed for privacy. For some context, I live in a major city and currently don't do a lot of driving due to ongoing issues with my car, plus the pandemic has made me turn to more delivery apps in general. So the other day around 1 p.m., I decided to order some lunch after doing a lot of cleaning. I placed the Ubereats order and found something to watch while I waited for the food. Within a few minutes, a driver accepted the order. And I noticed right away that the driver, Anthony, was on a bike, didn't have a profile picture or any deliveries on record. At first, I wasn't alarmed at all. I was almost amused. Like, oh wow, guess I'm this person's first customer. But then a full 30 minutes passes, with no driver movement on the app. And at this point I think maybe something is glitching out or the driver is stuck. I contact support via the chat option, and they ended up assigning a new driver because they couldn't reach the first one. Odd, but whatever. Now this is when it starts getting a little weirder. The new driver assigned is in the exact same spot as the original driver was. They are also on a bike, also have no profile picture, and have no prior deliveries as well. And this driver's name was Lori. I let another 20 minutes pass with no driver movement before I messaged them myself and say, "Hi there. Are there any issues with the order?" The app shows that the driver saw the message, but no response. All this time I'm checking to see if Ubereats is maybe experiencing issues. None that I could find. And at this point I'm definitely weirded out. I'm mostly just hungry, so I contact support again to request some assistance. They reassign the driver again and apologize for the inconvenience. Same deal. They also tried to contact the driver with no response. Finally, the third driver assigned is in the exact same scenario, same spot, on a bike, no profile picture, no prior deliveries, only this time, the name is Robert. And before I can react, I go about canceling the order at this point because I'm tired of dealing with this. He suddenly has my food and immediately messages me the following: "Hello, have your food. What's your phone number?" I respond right away with, "I'm not super comfortable giving my phone number out when you can just message me here." And he responded again with, "What's your number? Be there in 10. How old are you?" At this point the alarm bells are going off and I contact support immediately to have the order canceled and get further assistance. I get connected to Uber's safety team, who informs me that the order has been canceled. I'll be refunded, and started taking down the details of the strange interactions. As I'm giving the woman on the phone the info she needs, I'm starting to calm down, thinking this was just some creep or something. And that's when I hear a man's voice at the front door. "Miss, I have your food." And I can't even describe the chill that went down my spine because of the way he said it. Making things even worse, the Uber safety woman on the phone with me heard him as well and goes, "Is that him? We canceled the order." I poked my head around the door. Main heavy door was open. Metal screen door was closed, locked, but allowed us to see each other and get a look at him. When he saw me on the phone, he went from smiling to looking furious. He suddenly got right up against the door and kept asking who I was on the phone with. And at this point, I've started asking him to please leave because he's making me uncomfortable, and he's getting more and more angry. And at this point starts pounding on my door and grabbing the doorknob while shouting to be let in. The woman on the phone is asking if I'm okay. The man is still shouting, so I'm basically in full meltdown mode at this point and hurriedly close the heavy door to lock it. The man is becoming borderline belligerent as he kicks my door, and the woman tells me to call the police. He ended up walking away from my house about a minute after that and back up to the sidewalk. And for a moment, I thought he left. So I finished my conversation with the Uber safety woman so she could submit the report. Once she submitted it, I called the police and told them what happened. They weren't incredibly helpful at first. He didn't actually break in or put his hands on me. and they told me if he came back to call again, and they would send an officer out. I did end up having to call them again and give a full report and description of the man, since he didn't end up leaving right away. He stayed in the neighborhood for almost 20 minutes. According to one of my neighbors, after she heard the yelling, she saw the man I described walk back up to my house to the sidewalk and hop into a truck with another man in the passenger seat. And they apparently just sat there, staring at people walking by and being incredibly sketchy. And that's when she walked back towards my house and asked me what happened. Luckily, she was able to give myself and the cop a description of the vehicle and the other man as well. So basically, this was a very bizarre and uncomfortable experience that I wanted to share to maybe see if anyone has experienced anything like this, because honestly, I'm still pretty shaken up and will be avoiding delivery apps for quite a while. So strange Ubereats driver who asked me for personal info and then proceeded to try to break in. Please let's not meet.